Welcome to the Clermont County Board of Commissioners meeting for September the 17th. Wow, is it a nice day or what? But summer is going away way too fast. Prior to starting all Clermont County Commissioner meetings, we always ask for local clergy to come and lead us in prayer. This morning, David Tennant is here. He is from the Owensville United Methodist Church, and we are always glad to have him here. You are a mainstay at always helping us out.
Well, thank you.
You bet. The
It is a privilege.
podium is yours.
Thank you. Let's pray. Gracious Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for this day. It has been a difficult week plus of tragedies and violence and division, and we mourn. And yet we also should not be surprised, because you told us in Scripture that we struggle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities of darkness, of spiritual wickedness. And Father, I pray that you would grant each one of us that protection throughout this day, that you would draw us closer to you, to strengthen our faith, whatever that may be, the beginning, or continue to strengthen that. I applaud the commissioners for their desire, their need to start their business, your business, with prayer. Father, even some elected officials are pointing down or talking against prayer and our reliance, dare I say, worship to you. So Father, I lift all of us this day. I lift those who are struggling. Father, may, as we go through our work, certainly the commissioner's work this morning, but our individual work today, that we would also recognize that each one of us struggle and that we need you to strengthen us, to protect us, to guide us, and to encourage us through this day. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you. And now to officially start our meeting, Commissioner Batchelor, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Meeting's been called to order. We will move on with the regular agenda. Letter B is the approval of regular session minutes for September 10th, 2025. Board, do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make the motion to approve.
A second.
It's been moved and second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Tom, before I move on to the first presentation, is there anything that needs to be moved up today?
Not at this time.
Okay, then we'll move to letter C as the presentation. Steve Ferguson, a USI and Teresa CEBCO, Benefits Coordinator, Clermont County Human Resources for County Employee Benefits Consortium of Ohio, CEBCO, Renewal, Health Insurance, and Ancillary Benefits. Thanks, Steve.
Good morning.
Morning.
It's an honor to stand before the board today. It's my pleasure to present the work we've done with regard to the renewal for the county benefits for next year. As you know, just a little bit of history. For many years, the county was self-insured, and in 2025, we became insured through the CEBCO program, which was a real benefit to us at the time we did that. Since that time, we have our first renewal with CEBCO, and this year we had for the county were pretty favorable. However, what happened was the agreement we had with CEBCO was in the first year we would get what was referred to as a trend renewal, and a trend renewal basically means it's what Anthem considers medical services to cost in 26, assuming you have the same medical services in 25. So that's basically what medical trend was. And so Anthem's medical trend was 9.9, which is what the renewal came in for the rates. Now, that being said, it's important to understand some of the funding that we went through. So I'll go ahead and for today's agenda. Oh, I'm sorry. That's my deal. Okay. So for today's agenda, we're going to go through the premium and county cost summary. We're going to look at some medical plan alternatives that we looked at and actually presented to the healthcare committee. We're going to look at the cost impact of some of those healthcare alternatives. We have looked through and evaluated the impact of employee contributions to offset some of the county costs, and then also looking at ancillary benefits, which would be dental, life, disability, vision, things like that, and then end with the Healthcare Committee's recommendations. All right, so this is a summary chart. And as I mentioned before, when you look at the 2025 cost, we will pay about $15.3 million in premium cost. And so with the arrangement with CEBCO, unlike what we had before, we actually pay a premium per employee based on single or family coverage and how it works. And so that coverage this year cost about $15.3 million. In addition, the county has administrative services, and you can see down below, the administrative services are due to the benefits administration, the HSA contributions, and also payment for COBRA and FSA administration. So in total, it comes up to about $15.9 million. The expectation with the higher premium to CEBCO this year, but when you add in also the county contribution, which didn't change, the number becomes 9.6. So that would be a 9.6 impact on the actual rates that are paid for next year. Now, offset that with the county funding that was made for 25. The reason why the funding was higher is because we had what was referred to as run-out claims. And so, as you know, in a self-insured plan, even though the year is over, you have claims that still come through that you have to pay for. And so we set aside over $1 million, $1.5 million in run-out claims, and then also some additional things where we had some gaps in some of the funding. So when you look at the funding cost that we have for this year of $17.4 million, compare that to the total cost for next year, the actual increase to the county is about flat. So when you look at it from that perspective. Now, keep in mind, that's great for this year, but next year we won't have that extra funding. So hopefully we'll have a good year and we have some low increases for the next year. So a couple of things we looked at. First is we looked at some plan changes just to try to offset that 9.9% increase. And so we looked at the 3 different plans, and we had some very minor plan changes. The least costly plan that the county has is the high deductible plan. And so we looked and say the only change that we recommended there was a change that had to happen because of the government. The government changed the minimum deductible from $3,300 to $3,400. So that change has to occur. That was a government change. And then we looked at a couple of other options. The premium copay plan is the most expensive plan for the county. So we looked at a couple of options. One where we changed just some copays for emergency care. Otherwise, we also changed some additional options where we looked at adjusting the deductible. And then secondly, we looked at adjusting the deductible and what's referred to as the out-of-pocket maximum, as well as some of the other things. And then for the premium copay, for the basic copay, the only change that we recommended was, or that we suggested, was changing the 90% percentage to 80%, which is the standard that most companies have today. So those are the 3 changes that we offered and that CEBCO could accommodate. So when you look at the funding itself, in 2025, you can see the most participation is in the premium copay plan. We have 600 employees in that plan. The next is for the HSA plan at 300 employees. And the basic copay, which was the new plan we put in 25, has about 117 things. You can see that we spend about $9.5 million in the premium copay, almost $5 million in the HSA, and just about 1.4 for the basic copay plan. So you can see the rates and how it impacts with no change at all, just applying the 9.9% increase in the second the drop down. Then we looked at what happens when we apply some of the plan changes. So as you remember, the first option was really just adjusting the copays for emergency care, and there wasn't much of an impact there. The impact for the county was only $17,000, so that really wasn't an option to consider when we looked at that. Option 2 was where we started to adjust the deductibles and also the emergency care, and so that has more of an impact that you have, and so that was about a $61,000 impact to the county. And then option 3 was where we adjusted the benefit percentage, the deductibles, the out-of-pocket max, as well as the emergency care for that. And that savings was a little higher. So you look at the savings there was about $92,000. Keep in mind, $92,000 based on the amount that you spend is 0.5%. So it's not a whole lot in terms of this. And so I'll get into the impact that the committee had right after that. So the next thing we took up was to say, in addition to considering plan changes, what would it make sense to look at some employee contribution changes? And so you can see that the first option was no change. And so the reason I bring this up is because if the rates changed 9.6% in total, and there was no change in employee costs, the actual increase to the county was about 11%, simply because the county is bearing all of the increase there at the time. The second thing we looked at was, what if we had just a 3% increase? And so looking at this again, the total increase, 9.6. If employees pick up 3% of the cost, that 3% turns out to be about $65,000. And that would offset the county's cost in doing it down to about 10.6%. So that was one option that was considered. You can look at the impact on employees' paychecks. If you did the 3% increase, employees would have an increase in their paycheck at 90 cents for the high deductible plan, $1.30 for the premium plan, and for the basic plan would be 30%. And then we also looked at a 5% increase because the average that we're seeing out there today in terms of increases for employers ranges from 3 to 5%. So we looked at a 3 and we looked at a 5. So in doing that, you can see that the 9.6 is the total. Employees pick up about $108,000 for 5%, and then the county would still pick up a lion's share of 9.3%. That impact would have, for people who are in the HSA plan, about $1.50 for the HSA, for the premium, about $2.20, and the basic at 50 cents. So moving on to the second piece of it, which was all of the other coverages other than health, the dental, vision, life, disability renewals. We had a lot of success in this year. The dental plan really wasn't, when you look at the cost, claims that were incurred for dental claims with MetLife compared to the premium that was paid to MetLife was about 10%. That refers to what's called a loss ratio of 110%. Typically, to get no increase in dental, you want a loss ratio of about 75%. So obviously, it was a very expensive. You had a lot of dental claims, which is normal. I think it's not a problem. Had we just simply not arranged this in the prior year, the increase for the dental would have been about 40%. However, last year we negotiated a first-year rate cap with MetLife of 7%, so they were stuck with the 7%. We did have a quote from CEBCO, and the CEBCO quote was competitive. However, some of the maximums with the CEBCO Delta Dental plan were lower than what you currently have in your plan. So you currently have a $1,500 max, and several of the CEBCO options were only $1,000 for that. With regard to the vision, we went out to 12 different vision insurance companies. Due to the claims experience, the renewal came in at 34%. However, we did have a very competitive bid from IMMINENT. It came in at 9.7% lower than the current premium, so it was a savings. And we negotiated a 4-year rate guarantee, so we keep that savings for 4 years. So. And then with regard to the life, disability, all the voluntary programs, we went out to 7 different life and disability companies. Voya actually offered no increase, which would be a good thing. However, we did have a proposal from a company called Mutual of Omaha that came in with an 18% reduction in the cost, which was pretty significant in cost. And we actually negotiated that for the next 3 years for the county. So that is the savings for the next 3 years. So to wrap it all up, what were the committee's recommendation? When we look at the plan alternatives, because the most change that occurred was the option 3, as I mentioned, that it was about a $98,000 savings. However, when you look at the cost the county pays, it was a 0.5%. And so they looked at that and said the disruption that would occur for that small of a change, the committee came back and said there was a recommendation not to make any plan changes in the year. Then we spent a lot of time talking about payroll changes. One of the big issues that came up was how much have we paid, because there hasn't been an increase over 6 years for the county employees. How much have we paid since then? So the county has actually absorbed $3.7 million over those 6 years. And so that was one piece. The other piece is that even though from a funding standpoint, we're flat into next year, your premium, let's assuming that trend stays the same and you get another 9% next year, what they thought would be important is to try to stay ahead of the trend and have a little bit of an increase that goes out to employees. And so the recommendation came back that they would suggest a 3% employee contribution change. With regard to the dental, with the recommendation, because we had that rate cap, it was to stay with MetLife. With vision, because we had the 9.7% savings for 3 years, or for 4 years, was to move to IMED. And then for the life and disability, to take advantage of the 18.7% savings over the next 3 years, was to move to Mutual of Omaha. So, any questions on what I?
Yeah, that was a lot.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
To the committee too.
Board, any clarification or question? Okay, hearing none, I'll move to letter D. Letter D is public participation. Anyone here from the public like to participate? By all means, come up to the podium, tell us who you are and what your address is. Your comments will be limited to 5 minutes. There'll be no response as far as the board. You are free to go ahead.
Hey, my name is Dan Day. I live in Williamsburg, Ohio. I gave a presentation July 30th about WMSC being violated by my neighbor. At the end of the presentation, Commissioner Corcoran made this statement: Ralph, make sure you follow it through and make sure that DeCalby is aware of this, and Mr. DeCalby and Chris and everybody, so he can get a meeting together. Thank you. We'll get it together for you, sir. Thanks so much. We thank you for coming. Sorry for everything. Thanks, Mr. Day. Thanks for being here. I waited 19 days and didn't hear from any county office. So I went down to the commissioner's office and talked to Becca. She went to Chris McClintock's office and they said he was in a meeting. He would call me when he got out of his meeting, but I received no call. 3 days later, went back to his office to inquire what was going on to be happening about the meeting with Prosecutor DeCalby. The girl in the office gave me a meeting date with Chris on Monday, the 25th. Chris called me on Monday, the 25th, and told me the meeting was canceled since the prosecutor's office said they were out of the loop, but he would try again to talk to them. Still no contact by any office. On Wednesday, the 27th of August, I was at the dedication of the mural on the barn in Williamsburg. After the dedication, I met with and talked to Commissioner Painter. He asked me how things were going. I stated not so good. I've been waiting for 4 weeks for a promised meeting with Prosecutor DeCalby. Commissioner Painter stated, if we promise you a meeting, you'll get one. That was 4 weeks ago. I don't think I have been pushy and have waited a reasonable amount of time. I could only hope that the courtesy contacts could be made to let me know how things were going and how things were standing. The thing that doesn't make sense to me is the building department, which answers to the county commissioners, stated in their letters, not once, but twice, that if compliance was not met following the WMSC laws, that it would be turned over to the prosecutor's office for corrective action. It seems to me the building department said there was a violation because why would they say if there was non-compliance, it would be sent to the county prosecutor? The state of Ohio has a law called Water Management and Sediment Control. The building department is there to ensure excavation sites follow approved WMSC regulations and maintain erosion control measures. If the building department, who is the enforcement of WMSC, doesn't do so, then there must not be a law in their mind. When the building department is questioned about a clear violation and its own inconsistent application of its own rules creates an unfair and unpredictable system in which people are no longer trust because the system is designed to protect neighboring property owners and the general public has a critical and unaddressed malfunction. Imagine if a neighbor built a house that blocked the view of another neighbor and that person burned down the new house, and the authorities said after an investigation concluded, yes, the person did indeed burn their house down, but we came to the conclusion that since you have insurance, we're not going to enforce the law of arson. It's been probably a half a year since this has started from day one, and here we are today. And I still have no resolve or no meeting with the prosecutor, and it just is beside me to think that the person that created all the problems is not being addressed as doing something wrong when he in fact was doing something wrong, when in fact the building department said he was because they sent him 2 violation letters. And that's all I have to say at this time.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Hearing none, I'll close public participation. We will move to letter E of the consent agenda. Board, you have had the consent agenda presented to you early, had the opportunity to review it. Are there any subjects that need to be pulled from the consent agenda for further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, I'd ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Been moved and second. Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes, we will move on to the non-consent agenda. Non-consent agenda starts on page 4 with item number 9. Item number 9 is a recommendation of the Board of County Commissioners to adopt resolution number 148-25 to approve payment to vendors in the total amount of $2,531,576.29 as outlined in the BCC approval invoice reports for checks dated September 17th, 2025, BCC directed prepaid invoice reports, and the procurement card transaction report as presented by the county auditor on 9/15/2025, and further authorizing the county auditor to issue warrants pursuant to and in compliance with section 319.16 of the Ohio Revised Code. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Item number 10. Morning, Mr. Bryant.
Good morning. I have a recommendation to execute the contract for residential treatment services between the boards of county commissioners of the Ohio counties of Warren and Clermont and the juvenile divisions of the Court of Common Pleas of Warren and Clermont through their respective judges for male juvenile offenders at the Mary Haven Youth Center, a division of Warren County Probate Juvenile Court, for renewal of the original and amended agreement initially executed on July 12, 2017, for the participation in the Responsibility Pathways Program at a rate of $400 per day per bed if space is available, effective for the period of September 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 10. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Any further clarification or discussion?
Only discussion would be is that we'll need to review this again in 26 to see, because I know this cost is just really jumped.
Yeah, since we negotiated that contract back in 2017, they've given us a really good deal. The court has started out $140 up to $200, and the Board of Commissioners asked the court to look at what their actual costs were for the program. The actual costs are way higher than what we've been paying the last several years. So yeah, that's why this contract only goes through December 31st.
Thank you very much.
The only other concern for that, Gary, is there any other competitive place that people can be placed, or do we just want to place as close to Clermont County as we can, or
No,
are there
that
other
helps.
locations?
The problem is every county in the state of Ohio, including children's service agencies, there's not enough beds for these kids, whether it's the court kids or children's services kids. Those costs for Buckeye Ranch, for example, is now $750 a day. It's just crazy what's happened really since the inception of Ohio Rise. Costs have just gone through the roof.
Absolutely.
A lot of those places have no longer providing those services. So the need is out there. There's just not enough beds for the children of the state of Ohio.
And what do we usually have there? How many people? I mean, is that
Warren County is unique because the court would send kids to Department of Youth Services or to regional facilities. That's the kids that are there to be punished.
Yeah.
But we have kids that we take custody of that need residential treatment or group homes. That's the type of kids like Children's Services would place. Warren County with Mare Haven's kind of in between. It's run by the court. It's certified by Ohio Department of Youth Services, but it's a residential treatment facility, sits right next to their juvenile detention center. So they operate within the court itself. So it's kind of unique that they have that facility in Ohio. I tried for 10 years prior to 2017 to allow our kids to come to their facility. They only did it for their kids, just like most would do for the detention facilities. But after 10 years, they finally said, yeah, we'll go ahead and take Clermont County kids. So we've been doing it since 2017. We have 2 kids there right now.
Right.
That's a high for us. It's usually maybe 1 kid there from Clermont County.
But it's a place where, as I understand from what I'm hearing, it's a place of teaching them responsibility and respect, and so that when they come out in the world, it's not just you're locked up. It's actually helping them grow. And it's a very difficult placement, I know, but we do have 2 children there. You're right.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
thank you.
That's all.
Anything else?
Thank
Roll
you.
call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Thank you. Item number 11. Morning, Chris.
Chris Rowland, Water Resources Department. Item 11 is a recommendation to authorize David L. Painter, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute change order number 1 to the contract with Queen City Mechanical Inc. of 1950 Waycross Road, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45240, previously ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on 9/25/24 for the Weaver Road Water Petition Project Part 2, project number 64001-60227, located in Stone Township, represents a decrease in the amount of $17,218.50 for a total adjusted contract price to date of $161,649.00, as well as a non-compensable extension of time of 119 calendar days for a revised contract to completion date of 6/3/25 for additions, deletions, and/or modifications. The reason for the long extension and not a result or thrown back on other contractors because of the time of this to do other seeding work. The actual water main work there ended in the wintertime, so we needed to get to warmer weather so we could do that.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Board, you've heard the reading of item number 11. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thanks, Chris. Item number 12. Morning, Terry.
Board of Commissioners. Terry Brandenburg with Human Resources. I have a recommendation to authorize David L. Painter, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute a professional service agreement with Bethesda Healthcare Incorporated, located on Cornell Road in Cincinnati, Ohio, for trainings on October 14th, 2025 and October 16th, 2025, in an amount not to exceed $1,800 in compliance with the terms and conditions of the agreement.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 12. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner.
Yes. Thank you. Morning, Sarah.
Item number 13 is a recommendation to execute a professional services agreement between the Board of County Commissioners of Clermont County, Ohio, and Evans, Meshworth, Hambleton, and Tilton Incorporated, located in Columbus, Ohio, for the completion of environmental reviews for 16 projects identified in the fiscal year 2024 Community Development Block Grant Annual Action Plan, if I can say it, as required by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development in accordance with the scope of services identified in Exhibit A for a total amount not to exceed $40,000 in compliance with the terms and conditions of the agreement and contingent upon the release and receipt of the purchase order.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 13. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Any further clarification? Roll call again.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Thank you, Sarah. Item number 14.
Morning, Lyle.
Morning.
Item 14 is a recommendation to adopt resolution number 149-25, resolving to authorize Jeremy Evans, the county engineer, to execute, certify, and submit applications for financial assistance for infrastructure replacements and improvement projects support of the following infrastructure improvements. This is for program year 40, fiscal year 2027, and the amounts outlined to the Ohio Public Works Commission out of Columbus, Ohio, including all understandings and assurances required and to act in accordance with the applications as they may be revised, and to provide such additional information as may be required, and further to authorize Jeremy Evans to execute the OPWC project grant agreements pursuant to and in compliance with Chapter 164 of the Ohio Revised Code. We're submitting three different packages. One is for the 2026 bridge replacement projects, which includes 3 bridges. The 2026 landslide repairs, Part 1, which include, let's see here, we got 6 landslides, and we're partnering with Stonelick and Union Township on some of the projects. And then we have 2026 landslide repairs, Part 2, which includes 3 landslides that are all county projects.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 14. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call again.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item number 15.
Item 15 is a recommendation to authorize Jeremy Evans, the county engineer, to execute a cooperative agreement between the Board of County Commissioners and the Union Township Board of Trustees relative to the Old State Route 74 widening and Elmont Drive drainage improvements project located in Union Township, establishing financial responsibilities for the local match portion of the Ohio Public Works Commission grant application, confirming the Clermont County and Union Township funding commitments of $100,000, which is 10.5% of the project cost each, in compliance with the terms and conditions of the agreement. So Union Township's actually going to be the applicant on this OPWC project, and we're going to contribute a portion of the local match.
Okay, board, you've heard the reading of item number 15. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Any further clarification or discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Thanks, Lyle. Item number 16. Morning, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Item number 16, recommendation to award the bid and execute a contract for the Clermont County Animal Shelter improvements to Kramer and Feldman out of Cincinnati, Ohio for the lowest and best bid received on 8/21/2025 and a total amount of $69,900 with services to commence upon issue of a written notice to proceed from the Clermont County Facilities Management Department and to be completed within 180 days after receipt of the notice to proceed in compliance with the terms and conditions of the contract, contingent upon the release of a purchase order.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 16. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Been moved and second. Any further conversation or clarification?
Commissioner Painter, can I just I just want for the board, the clarification on this project is the washer, the dryer, and the dishwasher, right, for the shelter?
Only
Okay, I just want to make sure they understood that.
Yes.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Okay.
Anything else? Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item number 17.
Number 17 is recommendation to award the bid and execute the contract for the county paint projects to Lynn Painting of Batavia, Ohio. for the lowest and best bid received on July 24th, 2025, in a total amount of $140,810, with services to commence upon issuance of a written notice to proceed from the Clermont County Facilities Management Department and to be completed within 180 days of the compliance on the terms and conditions of the award of bid and contract amount contingent upon the release of a purchase order.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 17. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Anything further? Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran, Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Thank you, Brian. Item number 18. Denny. Morning. They saved the best for last.
Yeah, bring it home. I'm Denny Mel, Associate Director of Clermont County Mental Health and Recovery Board. Item number 18, I have a recommendation to reappoint the following individual to serve on the Clermont County Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services Board for the term outlined below, pursuant to Section 340.02 of the Ohio Revised Code. The individual is Ms. Jara Yvonne Bonner. She's a resident of Milford. And then we're looking at reappointing her for a term to commence on 10/20/2025 and run through 10/19/2029. This will be her second full term. She's serving out a first term with us right now.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 18. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Any further conversation or discussion? Serving a second term, then
Yes, sir.
what causes a second term? I mean, why is this particular person being recommended for a second term when there are other people who might want to serve on the mental health board?
Well, she has done a great job over the last 4 years, and we feel like she'll continue to serve in a good do a good service for the community. She's willing to serve, and so we feel like reappointing her would be the best recommendation.
Okay. Board, any other conversations or
Was there a
discussion?
need to open it up, do you think, to put it out there and ask? I mean, we haven't, was it posted at all? It wouldn't be, would it, with
No.
us?
We're
Okay, then we're all right.
we're looking for board members now. We're
Right.
in the process of interviewing board
Okay.
members, and we're having a
All right,
little
good.
bit of a problem with that.
Yeah, but I
We,
just wanted to know if we opened it up to the public, because people always
it's
say,
been
oh,
open, yes.
okay, then
We're
we're,
actively
okay.
seeking board members right now.
all right,
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
trying to keep the ones we got. We need to get a couple more.
all right. Good.
Yeah, and there's no issue with that. It's just that,
Fair
many
question.
people go to change out on the boards, and I know we call on the same people to serve over and over and over. And, many times after we do that, someone calls or, you're approached in a venue where they were like, hey, I was really wanting to serve on that.
Sure.
When's that come up? And you're like, well, we just appointed it.
Well, And we even moved that part of the county commissioners. David, you moved, I'm sorry, I'm calling you out on this, but we moved that up. It was one of the highest items that we had out there, that when you pulled up the site, you could say, hey, we've got some board positions opened.
Mhm.
It's easier to find now than
Right.
what it used to be.
Right.
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a lot of you guys probably hear a lot of the boards. It's a thing,
Hard.
trying to find board members.
That's fine. Okay.
Anything else?
No.
Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Denny.
you.
That concludes our non-consent agenda. Are there any additions to the agenda?
I believe our clerk, you have a couple of additions to the agenda?
There are 2 additions to the agenda, and I believe Lyle Bloom is going to present those.
I believe we have an
Um,
agreement with Stonewood Township Board of Trustees, and then we have an agreement with Union Township Board of Trustees to add to the agenda.
Board, we have two additions to the agenda. One with Stone Lick, one with Union Township. Do I have a motion to add these to the agenda?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Been moved and second. Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes, Lyle, if you would do the honors by taking us through 'em.
Sure. The first item is a recommendation to execute an agreement between the Board of County Commissioners and the Stone Lake Township Board of Trustees relative to the Owens Lane landslide project located in Stone Lake Township, and to authorize the county engineer to pursue funding from the Ohio Public Works Commission for a total estimated project cost of $200,000 with reimbursement responsibility as the OPWC grant would be for 79% of that 200,000, so $158,000, and then Stone Lake Township would be responsible for the 21%, the local share of $42,000, and this is part of the landslide Group 1 package that we approved earlier.
Board, you've heard the recommendation for the landslide project, Owens Lane landslide project. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
A second.
Been moved and second. Any further conversation? Roll call again.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes, and the second.
Next item is a recommendation to execute an agreement between the Board of County Commissioners and the Union Township Board of Trustees relative to the Baldwin Road and Binning Road landslide projects located in Union Township, and to authorize the county engineer to pursue funding from Ohio Public Works Commission for a total estimated project cost of $612,000 with the reimbursement responsibility as the OPWC grant would be for 79%, so $483,480, and the Union Township would be responsible for the 21% local match of $128,520.
Board, you've heard the reading of the proposed resolution for the Baldwin Road and Benning Road landslide projects. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Any further questions? Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor, yes. Corcoran, Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Thank you. Any other additions this time?
Nothing further.
Tom, prior to me moving on to executive session, I just wanted to make a request that, as long as the board agrees, a request that we send one of our staff down to get a hold of, across the hall to get a hold of Chris McClintock and down to the prosecutor's office to either get a hold of Brian Shrive and or Jason Fountain to see if they can't come up here and meet with Mr. Day. He has been very, very patient. It has taken way too much time, and that should be able to be accommodated within the next 30 minutes or an hour.
Okay.
Okay? We don't need to see them here on the board, but it would be nice if they would take up some occupancy across the hall.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Do we want to have?
You be around for a while?
I can, yes.
Okay.
Do we want to have somebody go over now and see if somebody's in? Chris is in.
We can do that. They'll come back and
Ralph,
let you
could you
know.
walk across the hall and see if Chris is available and see if he can't make a phone call downstairs?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
With that, we'll move to executive session, but we'll come back out.
You can wait here.
You can wait right here. They'll come. And with that, I'll move to letter H. I'm requesting an executive session in accordance with 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code and 12122 G3 of the Ohio Revised Code to consider the employment or discipline of a public employee or more public employees, and to confer with the attorney for the board concerning disputes involving the public body that are subject to pending or imminent court action. Board, do I have a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes, we will move to executive session. We will return and we will conduct further business. Thank you.
We're not going.
We have returned from executive session. There were no decisions made and no actions taken. We will move on with our regular agenda. Board, we are at letter I is county elected official discussions. Heath Wilson is here, our chief building official with Clermont County Building Inspection Department. Heath, the podium's yours. Thanks for being here.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for your time. Just kind of want to give an update on what's going on at the building department. I know we've been working really hard to improve a lot of things. So our applications are still at a record pace. We're about 400 applications ahead of where we were last year with commercial and residential. So it's been a challenge, especially with trying to find a new residential plans examiner and then fill my old position. But we are basically paperless right now with submittals, so everything's coming in electronic, which helps a lot. It also helps with our third-party plans examiner that you graciously let us hire. XPEX, they've been tremendous in helping us catch up with residential and commercial plan review. The commercial is pretty much up to date. It's ahead of schedule. Anything that comes in today will be in review within 10 business days. Residential, we're still trying to get to our 5-day goal, but it's improving. And that allows us to work on some of our other processes, which will help plan review, such as our workflow, our standard operating procedures, informational handouts. And then the state of Ohio changed certification processes, I think July 1st. So we're working on changing our position descriptions and our TO. This will allow us to bring people in more. We can reach out to more people than we could before. They can come in, be a trainee, get their certifications, and then they also have the ability to move to a permit clerk, then to an inspector. We can keep it internally, which is a really good thing. I'm bringing back the inspector class training. We're trying to do that weekly so we can keep the inspectors up to codes and consistency with inspections. And then we are also having some meetings with the planning department and staff, planning staff, to improve our processes with subdivision review, plat reviews, record plats, because I know a lot of public doesn't like our timelines with that. So we're trying to improve that greatly, and electronically, and maybe even electronic signatures. So that's kind of where we're at right now. If you have any questions for me or any comments, I appreciate your time.
Oh, no, we appreciate your time. We appreciate you coming in and talking to us about that. You know, the permit process that I know you guys are trying to implement is kind of a phased approach. How is that going? I know that's difficult to do, to just change over to, you know, that kind of an approach, but is that going okay?
It's going okay.
Okay.
Yeah, there's still some hiccups, but it's getting contractors and developers working, starting their project, and that makes them happy. So then we can finish plan review and get the project completed. That's what it's pretty much all about. So.
Yep. Great.
Thank you. Thank
Right.
you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Heath.
With that, we will move on to letter J. Letter J is board member comments. Board members, any comments today on the meeting? Anything you wanted to update us on?
I'd like to give you a little update.
Sure.
On senior service. Was just brought to my attention that through OKI's 5310 program, which is a federal transit administration, they received 6 light transit vehicles last week, which is going to help replace a lot of their aging vehicles, which totaled a little over $500,000 through this grant program through OKI. Bill's quite happy with that, and I just thought I'd let everyone know. And they use that for taking senior citizens to doctor's appointments or whatever, or people with disabilities can use those vans for transportation.
I think that's fantastic. You know, anytime we can And I would assume we probably rolled out, Tom, some used vans that we had also go out too on.
Well, senior
Access?
services, that's a separate contract. They
Right.
procure theirs separately. But yeah, to get a grant to be able to purchase those vehicles is tremendous because they're very expensive.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Well, great. Anything else? No?
Jeff said it's Constitution Week from the 17th to the 23rd, and that's a big deal in this country. So,
Yes, it is.
and in light of what we've gone through, the entire country's gone through in the past week, I think it's very important that people sit down and read the Constitution and take it to heart and remember what as Americans we are all about.
You bet. You bet. Well, hearing nothing else, I would ask for a motion to adjourn our meeting.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
I will second.
It's been moved and second. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes, thanks for joining us this morning here on September the 17th on this beautiful day. We look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.